Great evening, everyone. My name is Nakia O'Shea. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to join us for this edition of the Coach's Corner. I just want to share something with you. As many of you know, and some of you may not, I just celebrated my 50th birthday, and I'm learning that there's so many new things about myself that I did not know. And it seems like there's a switch that hit once I hit this age. So I just want to share with you, stop letting people withdraw from you more than what they deposit. I'll let you think on that. Stop allowing people to withdraw from you more than what they deposit. We're going to have a conversation tonight. So if you don't have any background noise, please take yourself off mute. If you do have background noise, do me a favor, please remain on mute. The gentleman that's going to bring the information to us tonight, he loves to show people by example that there is another way, another opportunity that you can have time freedom and financial freedom. And that means you'll have time to be with your family when you want to, travel when you want to, not have to ask anyone for permission. He knows how to create success stories. We know that as we look around this screen, many of you are already a success story. He is definitely a diamond maker. He is also a documented seven-figure income earner in this industry. He's been in this industry for over 30 years. He has been able to donate his job back to the economy, which is definitely a plus for me and our family. But the thing about him is he loves information. And the way to his heart is to provide him with the information so that he can dissect it and then give you a roadmap and just show you a better way to enjoy everything that God has promised you. So without further ado, I'm going to present to some, but introduce to others, Coach Sonic Jones. Coach Jones, are you ready, sir?
Hey, I'm so ready for this, Nakia. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. I appreciate that warm introduction. Y'all please give Nakia some love in the chat. Truly appreciate you joining us each and every week and participating and just sharing your nuggets as well. Because I get a lot of feedback. And I know you don't always get to see the feedback, but man, they be praising you more than they praise me sometimes. So thank you. Thank you for your contributions and everything that you do. We truly appreciate you being a huge asset to the team in general. That being said, happy Wednesday to everybody joining us live. If you're watching this recording, if we even put up the recording, happy whatever day it is to you. She said, my name is Sonic Jones, and I had some things that I was going to talk about this evening. However, two people changed the course of that. Yes, Tommy, go ahead and make those faces, bro, because you was definitely one of them. Um, and we're gonna get to your stuff second, Tommy. The other person, I was having a call with somebody today. Well, it wasn't actually a call; it was a live in-person meeting, and we began having some conversations, and as I was having the opportunity to talk and coach. So, this would be great to have a discussion, live and let's talk about on the coach's corner because she asked me a question and I asked her the question back. And so I'm going to ask y'all a question. I see a lot of red mics here. That means a lot of y'all are muted. I know not everybody has background noise. So as she said, if you don't have background noise and you are able to talk to me, question for you. Does anyone here know what their life's purpose is? Anybody?
I do.
You do?
Yep.
Anybody else?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Wow. That's a lot.
Nice.
And I'm surprised to hear that, but I'm excited to hear that. Because a lot of us, I don't believe, really get to explore or find out what our true life purpose is. I think sometimes, as I was talking some things out with her, it's crazy because we go through life and we just don't know. We could have been put on this earth for something as simple as having a conversation with a younger person. I don't even want to say a child, and you could have said something that changed the trajectory of that person's life forever. Or I personally, I don't know what my life's purpose was. I know I contribute a lot. I do my best to try to contribute a lot to a lot of different people, but to answer the question of why I was put on this earth, man, that's a deep question. I don't know if you ever actually thought about that. Has anybody like really sat down and thought about that before?
I have. I
Sir.
have, Coach.
I have.
Yes.
Yes.
An ongoing conversation.
Answers? I love this.
Yes,
Anybody
I
want
have
to share?
too.
Would anybody like to share what they feel their life's purpose was?
Or is
Work in progress.
I can go.
I'm still having that ongoing conversation. I still keep asking God to show me because I used to think it was nursing, but I don't think it is. And so I think it's something deeper,
Mhm.
but I'm not there yet.
Okay. It's not an easy question to really answer, Lynette. So for all of y'all that chimed in was like, I do, man, I bow down to you, but everybody not sharing. I just got Tina Stone with a
No,
hand up.
because you asked,
Yes. Yes.
have anyone ever thought about it? So I have,
Oh,
but
well,
the answer I don't know.
but I said if you figured it out, you want to share, let me know. So Tina, what
Okay. Yes, I wanted to share.
Order for the
Years ago, when I was working in the bank and I saw how the elderly was being mistreated when they would come in with their little social security check and they were charging outrageous fees for them to get money orders. But then the ones that was well-to-do, they were getting theirs free.
Mhm.
I said, there's got to be something better than this. And I've always been drawn to elderly and young people. So I asked God, what is my purpose? And He put me in the medical field where I was dealing with people with critical conditions, dealing with cancer and um, different things like that. Children born with defects and having to come and have their blood drawn because I was the vampire lady, as they called me. I did that, and that's what I retired from. I did that for 30 years.
Okay.
After that, I asked God again. I said, okay, show me where you want me to be. And that's when He told me, you were designed, created to help people.
Mhm.
And at that point, I was introduced to green organics
Mm.
because I knew a lot of the side effects that the medicine had on people being in the medical field. And then to find out that's what green organics had alternative to do healthy treatment for their health. At that point, I just dug into it, and I really truly feel that I have been fulfilled in doing this to a certain degree. I'm still in the learning process, but with the excitement that I have that I'm helping people, and I just can't shut my mouth up. No matter where I go, I'm always talking to somebody and then listening to what they have to say and then giving them an option. So, with that being said, I know I've been put here to help people to live longer. And then seeing people who didn't take my advice, who had passed on, that's given me even more drive to reach even more people because I don't want them to have their families to suffer the loss that I have suffered with mine.
That's amazing, man. Thank you so much for sharing that, Miss Tina. Like I said, a lot of people we don't get that answer. And so listen, I'm going to encourage everybody here to really ask yourself that and start exploring, so that, in my opinion, you may be able to reach more people. You may have an impact on others. I think all of us really were designed, we were put here to really have some sort of impact on someone other than ourselves, right? And so explore maybe what your life's purpose is, and what you were put on this earth to accomplish or to help make happen, or different things like that. I want to shift gears a little bit on that same path, and I want to ask this, and you guys can, again, chime in and tell me, what does personal growth mean to you? Anybody?
Being better than we were yesterday to make a better tomorrow.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else?
It's personal. You are the one that's making the growth. It is you that has to make that decision on what you want to do, why you want to do it, and when you're going to do it. It's that getting started point in personal growth, because a lot of people say they're doing personal growth, but they really don't do personal growth. But it has got to be the motivation coming out of you.
Take this one.
Appreciate that. Thanks so much, Miss Charlotte. Listen, we had some teachers on here. I didn't want them to get you when you first started out. He was like, you can't give the word in the definition. That's what they always. So, but I'm glad you went on and got into it. So that's good. Tommy and Charlotte, thank you. Anybody else want to tell me what personal growth kind of means to them?
I was going to say, for me, I feel like it's a continual thingy again, but for me, it's understanding who I am, where I want to go, and how I can get there, understanding me. I think so often we're focused on understanding other people and understanding how they think and why they do what they do. And we don't focus on, okay, why am I doing it this way? Why do I think like this? Why do I, so for me, it's understanding, learning myself, because for a long time, I just kind of didn't really dig deep to see who I am so that I can become the best version of myself.
That's good. And that's super important, man. I think for all of us, becoming the best version of yourself, I love the way you worded that, it should be kind of the ultimate goal. With money and time free, all of that is great, but really becoming the best version of yourself is so key. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Lynette, as well. I kind of want to talk about growth in general as well. As I look around at all the beautiful faces of those that have your cameras on, thank you so much. I can see, like, we really have all different demographics and ages and locations that are present. Sorry about that. That are present on this call, and that we get to reach out through the recordings and everything else. And so some of you have gone through some things already. And that's based on, sorry about that, a little feedback, based on your age, based on your location. Again, this kind of ties back into the conversation that I was having earlier. And some of y'all are on your way. Some of y'all haven't experienced certain things just yet. But again, having this unplanned coaching session today with somebody that's on this call now, we were talking about getting older. We were talking about the changes that we're going through, mindset changes, and how we are different now than we were before. And that before could have been 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
And let me just say this. When we're talking about growth, first of all, the expectation is for you to always change. We should always be evolving and what was that, Lynette? Becoming the best version of ourselves, right? That's what growth really is about. And preferably, you should always be evolving and changing for the better, right? But as we get older, I believe our tolerance level changes. The things that we tolerate, that changes. Anybody? See,
Yes. Yes.
Eyes, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, we view things differently. We view people differently as well.
Yes,
Anybody?
sir.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And we begin to realize, you know, the old adage of people are in our lives for a reason, or they're in our lives for a season.
Season.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us are afraid
On it.
to let go of the past. Because we think, you know, well, this is a relation. I've always been friends with them, or you know, that they're my blood family member, and and I'm not. This is not going down a negative path, but I've realized in my older age, cut some people off. Tommy, that wasn't the funny part, Tommy. But no, I've had to cut people off in order for that growth to continue. Tommy, you did a live earlier talking about plants and different things like that, right? And so I'm sure you can relate to, you know, take the transition from plants to trees and understand in order for a tree to really get healthy, it has to be pruned. Anybody familiar with that?
Yes.
Yes.
And people can look at that process and be like you're damaging the tree. You're damaging like you're stopping it from growing. You're cutting the no. Listen, in order for it to grow healthy,
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
gotta
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and in order for you to grow healthy, sometimes you got to do some pruning in your life.
Yes.
And that can be a difficult thing. And not understanding that concept slows our growth down. Does anybody agree with that? Does that make sense to anybody?
Yes.
That-
Totally agree.
And not only will it slow it down, it can be counterproductive to the growth.
100%.
Okay, I'm shutting up.
No, don't shut up. Listen, man, interaction, but that was, you're 100% correct. Listen, and I don't want to say you, but we'll go back to the tree. Like the tree can actually die if it's not pruned properly. If it doesn't have the space to grow, right? If it's not in the right soil, if it doesn't have the right nutrients, like Tommy said, all of that is counterproductive to the growth. And I've often said this industry, our industry of network marketing, especially when you're with the right company, and I feel we're all with the right company here. The business is a self-improvement course with a compensation plan attached to it.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
When
You
you're
say-
doing it right, by the way.
That's good stuff right there.
Thank you, Tanya. When you're doing it right, our industry, our business is a self-improvement course with a compensation plan attached. And I'm encouraging everybody here to be on a growth cycle. Now, I've said this before, I'll say this again. Growth is painful. Again, that's where we get the term growing pains, right? It's uncomfortable. We've talked about that before. But it's only when we get uncomfortable that true growth can actually happen. Tommy, again, you were talking about plants and everything. And by the way, look, I'm not afraid to tell y'all, I am from the projects of the Bronx. There were no trees growing up. We didn't have no grass, we didn't have green thumbs. It was literally the concrete jungle, right? So I didn't learn much about plants and all that stuff. Tommy's out there rough. Tommy got a whole garden. Here's my tomato. Here's my potato. I'm like, bro, we went to the supermarket to get our food, but I love what you're doing. And I love how you translated that to business as well, early, Tommy. And it's crazy because when I talked about two people that changed the training tonight, yours had nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it's ironic that I'm able to bring it back to what you just did. And, you know, that was pure coincidence. This one was about Nakia, y'all, by the way. She was the one that I had this coaching session with. She's sitting up there mad now that I don't ratted her out. But we get to have these talks and these sessions. I'm honored that she still allows me to coach her, you know, after all of these years. But we were having this growth conversation, and you know, we talked about people in your lives for a reason or a season. But we've also, you know, heard that some people are roots in your life and some people are the leaves, right? And those leaves, you know, in most trees, when we look around, especially during fall time, for those of us in proper climate, some of y'all, you know, I know Lynette, you from the islands. I don't even know if y'all got a fall where you from, but you know, like those leaves fall off,
Mm-hmm.
blow away. And that's what happens to some people in our life. The tree doesn't try to hold on to those leaves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. The tree knows to release it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we fight that release.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to really get into your mindset that I don't care. Like, again, I look around and I see young, old, black, white. We got some of my Canadians up here, right? We got like everybody here. Y'all, in order for you to seriously win, evolve, take your business to the next level, but take your life to the next level, for you to experience that personal growth, but real growth as well. We gotta understand that it's okay to let certain things go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Coach, up to that right quick, since you're on that topic.
Sure, go ahead, man.
Not only do we have to let some of those leaves go for the pruning process, but sometimes when you're cultivating, there's a fungus that grows that could be deadly. And we got to learn to identify that fungus and release that as well. Thank you, sir.
That's
heavy.
I was getting into it.
Right.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, but you're absolutely correct, Tommy. And
No.
man, it's important. Charlotte, you wanted to say something? Oh, okay. You muted out. And by the way, the point of this is not for you to cut everybody out your life and everything else. And I want y'all to understand that it's important. Everybody serves a purpose in our lives, right? It's important to have all of the characters in your life story, because it's our experiences that give us life and give our lives meaning. The people and those experiences actually helps lead us to what our purpose is. Paying attention. If you're paying attention.
I found that creating boundaries help as well.
Yes.
That's key, boy. That's good. That's good right there.
Can I add a little, Coach?
Go ahead, Gina. What's up?
Hey, I just want to wish everybody brand new blessings every single morning. And I say that because every morning are brand new mercies. Every morning you wake up, you have another opportunity, not only to make better decisions or better choices, but also to find out your day-to-day purpose. I know one of my purpose is the purpose to pray. And I found out that one when I was very young, about 7 or 8 years old. My other one is to serve these God's people and children. And it does not mean for me to allow someone to take advantage of me. But I just wanted to let you guys know that for every morning we make up, we recognize who we are and whose we are. Sometimes the tricks will get in your mind and say, try to confuse you a little bit, but he cannot touch our hearts, because that's where Christ dwells. And every day I try to do something new to grow my business. I have a lot of situations going on right now that's really messing with my mental health. But I force those things out of my mind by focusing on doing something to help another person. I also have a thing that God gave me years ago to not allow anything to proceed out of my mouth that will cause hurt, harm, or danger. God give us talents as well as a purpose. And for a long time, I suppressed my talents. I have great articulation of speech. I can speak very well. I can speak with confidence in a group or a crowd or two, like my pastor said longer than, Sister Wilson, I didn't know you could articulate like that. And I told him, shh, that's not a talent that God has purposed me to share with others as of yet. So we have talents within us. God give us permission and the ability to recognize those talents, but it's up to us to put those talents into play or into action. That's all I got, Coach.
Thank you so much for sharing, Gina. And I'm going to let you know, now that you have released to the world and certain people on this call, that you have this gift for speaking. Don't be surprised when people start calling you up during trainings and everything else. Just been warned. All right, Kenya, you got a hand up? Would you like to share, Miss Kenya Wood?
I do. I do. Hold on. I just got it. You want my camera on? We're working.
Yes, ma'am. We do want your camera on.
Working.
All
Okay.
right.
I'm listening. I'm working, but I'm listening. And I wanted to touch on that. The personal growth and involving personal experience. Something I was going to share, but then I said no. But then you came back and you hit me with letting go. You have to learn to let go. And I want to share something on a personal note of myself. Before I became who I am now, I used to ask God every day, I want a pure heart. I want a pure heart, you know, but it seemed like stuff wasn't going right. I had to realize I had to face my flaws. I had to face the ugliness in me. And that's what holds a lot of people back with trying to evolve, trying to better themselves, because they are scared to face those flaws. They're scared to go through the ugliness to evolve, you know. But I'm gonna tell you, you have to face it. You have to go through it to get to be that better person, because you're never going to be that better person. You're never going to have more if you keep that ugliness in you. What's holding you back? It don't always have to be the people you're around, because sometimes you can be around people that genuinely want to see you win, but you're holding so much ugliness inside, you can't see it. You fight it off. But when you release it, I'm telling you, you will evolve. You will be a better person. You will want better and you will have better. But sometimes you have to face what we be holding in first. And I just wanted to share that because that was one of my problems in my past. I was so scared to let go and I wasn't going nowhere. Once I let go, I become such a better person. I've gotten more. When I showed him my faithfulness, it opened up. It opened up. And that's all people have to do. You have to, sometimes it starts with inside first. You have to dig inside. Then you deal with the people around you. But it starts within you first. Find out what you're holding you back. What's that flaw that you have? What's that ugliness that you're scared to face, to let go? Let go of it and see how better you will do. And that's all I have to say.
Let go and let God.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Coach, can you follow that with a real quick something?
Sure. But before you do, I just want to say thank you, Kenya, for reading my notes and going ahead to my next point on what I wanted to close with. But that's how Kenya is, y'all. 'Cause I was gonna close with that. But yeah, go ahead, Tommy. Go ahead.
Don't book mom.
Well, on that note, I can't see everybody that's on here because I'm on the phone and not on the laptop. But what I heard from what she was saying was not just you got to let certain things go. You got to look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you've done, everything you are is a culmination of all your life experience. And I'm going to throw it out right here, right now, Coach. If this is going to be recorded, I need you to edit this.
I know, right, Tommy.
Or I do. You know me, man. I'm 100% true.
As am I. So they gonna get what they get when they watch my recordings. But go ahead, bro.
I'm a convicted felon, you know, and it wasn't no mess around, play around thing. I was a violent guy in my life. And I know that you can relate to that, Coach. Not that you were, but that you relate to the situations that may have exposed you to certain situations.
Oh, we all got a pass, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I really resonate with what Kenya's saying is because I don't let that stigma stop me. Society wants you to let that stigma stop you because that's what they put on you.
Mhm.
That's irrelevant. It is all irrelevant. Everything is about what you believe and what you believe about you. The man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, the person in the mirror, that's what makes it. All of this outside white noise is irrelevant. Put that down because you are worthy. It doesn't matter what they told you you weren't worthy of. You can go get it. You just have to believe it. And I'm shutting up again, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, man. Listen, we talk about the 12 pillars, ladies and gentlemen. One of those pillars is transparency. So I appreciate the transparency from each of you guys that have contributed tonight and everything else. Thank you so much for that. But again, both of y'all have kind of closed with what I was going to close with. So I don't really need to go and redo it. But it goes to show, I guess, the in-tuneness of some of the leaders here. But so thank you for that. I want to shift into the second half of what I wanted to talk about tonight, based on me changing up. And this is I got something from from Tommy Waldron. And Tommy said, "Listen, you gotta." Putting you on blast, bro. Go ahead, put your hands up. But no, Tommy talked about how a lot of you guys have some upcoming meetings that you will either be throwing or participating in, I guess, as a part of Will putting out a challenge. And anybody attending any meeting here? No, okay, no. All right, one person.
Yep.
Okay.
Going.
All right, got a few. Well, for those of you that are, I want to talk about maybe some things that you should be doing. My suggestion, from experience on some things maybe that you should be doing leading up to and the day of to hopefully help facilitate making this meeting the best experience you can have. Is that okay if we kind of shift to some of that for y'all?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yes, sir. Bring the heat, sir.
Inside the chat and in some of the groups, you're starting to see people that have shared flyers for different meetings, that they're happening. And so there's going to be, I want to say, I know he's doing stuff in Georgia and Texas and maybe Florida or whatever, wherever y'all booked him, he's going to show up. And my suggestion is if you are within a 2 to 3 hour drive and you can make it happen, I would highly suggest getting to a meeting, but I would also highly suggest not going alone. Because the purpose, from what I know, should be to help you grow. And it's not just for the person who was bold enough and took the initiative to actually book a home meeting. And by the way, some of y'all have stepped up, and I don't see Diamond Liz on here right now, but some of y'all have stepped up and said, well, I'm going to do my own home meeting in the spirit of, and I love it. I love the initiative. I love that you are taking business into your hands and making sure that you are doing what's necessary for you to grow. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's not about, Will or Sonic or Charlotte or anybody coming to your city to help you build. It's about you taking the necessary steps to help you build and grow. That being said, let's talk about some things and give some suggestions on everything from prepping to setting up the room or maximizing your attendance and things like that. I'm going to start with leading up to the event. Think of it like this. If you plan on attending, or if you're hosting or co-hosting or whatever it is, pretend that, okay, good stuff, Sandra. Pretend that you are throwing the biggest party ever, right? And I'm paying for the food and the entertainment and everything else. I'm gonna cover the cost. I'm not really, but pretend this, right? Who are you inviting? Who are you inviting? This is your opportunity to show out. Now, is your goal to invite one or two people? If you're throwing the biggest party ever, and somebody else is covering the bill on things, how many people would you invite? Are you only gonna invite one or two?
Everybody
Any is
possible.
possible.
Yeah.
Everybody.
The answer. Now, my concern and worry is everybody going to do it?
No.
No, absolutely not. And that's unfortunate. However, if you're in the coach's corner, if you want to accept some coaching, my suggestion is invite everybody that you know. All right. Let's talk about the inviting part though. Who are you inviting? Have you actually made a list yet? We did a whole list training a few weeks back.
Sorry.
And I can see people who went, I prepared files for y'all. I prepared blank lists. I prepared memory joggers. I can see how many people went and actually downloaded it. I can also, well, I can't see, but I can also tell how many people will probably actually used it. So my suggestion is, even if you don't utilize the tools that I gave you, I would highly suggest making a list and getting into fill out your list and contact the people. Now, that goes to the next question. How are you contacting them? You're promoting for the biggest party ever. Somebody else is paying for your food, your drinks, entertainment, whatever it is. How are you contacting them? Are you making phone calls, text message, social media? Anybody? Let's interact here a little bit. For those of you that are inviting people, what have you been doing? What kind of contacts have you made?
Phone calls and
Social media,
texts.
text.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You cover phone calls,
Facebook,
text,
right?
flyers, and local businesses, walking around talking to people in your local establishment. I don't want to bogart the whole call. Thank you.
Listen, talk because nobody else was going to talk. So I appreciate you, bro. That's all good stuff, man. It would be my suggestion to take advantage of everything. However, let's talk about which form of inviting do you think will be the most effective and why? Anybody?
In person.
Always in person.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, always
person.
in person, but then
In-person invites. So talking to people face to face. Okay.
Voice
Anybody?
notes on Facebook Messenger.
Did you say voice notes?
Voice notes on
I
Facebook
see.
Messenger.
Phone call, in my opinion.
Okay.
And personal invite,
Depends,
so
I
they can hear the
got 13.
enthusiasm in your voice.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, and I see a lot of people burning some stuff up in the chat as well. I see in-person phone calls, text message, the flyer. Zooms.
Yeah, that
So
they can hear the excitement in your voice, the phone calls and the in person. They can hear that excitement in your voice and make them really think about really coming.
I agree with that 100%, Lucretia. With the question being, what do you think will be most effective and why?
Mm-hmm.
I think that answer, Lucretia, is spot on. That ability for somebody to hear your voice and or see your face, and hear your passion, hear your conviction, and everything else will benefit you the most. And that's not to say don't do the other stuff. That's not to say don't put up, some of y'all are just going to do this, and we got enough time where we can correct this mistake now. Some of y'all are just going, take a flyer and put it on your page. Some of y'all are just going to take a flyer and put it in some groups and think, I'm about to blow up. Everybody about to show up. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, right?
Say that again, Coach, please.
What'd you say, Tommy?
I said, say that again, Coach, please, because I see and I feel what you're saying. I just don't think they're getting it yet.
I'm going to urge.
It also depends on the group too.
I get it, because I've literally done the same thing. Literally thrown parties.
Yeah.
And even the people who say they're going to show up don't show up. So that's definitely true. And that's definitely like a business mover. You're like, okay, I got everything right. And you're just like, why aren't they coming? Why aren't the customers coming?
We're going to get to that. I appreciate that. Listen, do not rely just on social media. Please. Trust me. People will ignore your flyer all day, every day. And by the way, that's not real promoting. Right? Become a professional promoter. There's something so key about, again, we're in relationship marketing. There's something key when you can actually touch the person and
master the invite.
Just with your voice. It could be just with your voice, right? But to connect with a person and letting them really understand the importance of them showing up. And whether that be to hear some great information, to meet somebody, to change their lives from a financial standpoint, to help them with their health, like whatever the reason that you may want to invite them out. When there's a true connection made, it's all the better. So again, I'm not saying don't do social media, don't put a flyer up on your page, don't throw some stuff in the groups. I'm saying to maximize your efforts, be your primary thing. Now, some of y'all gonna do what you want to do, and that's okay, because we in a volunteer army. And I'm not nobody's boss. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I'm gonna give you some suggestions on my experiences. Tiara, you got a hand up? You want to say something before I go on?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Definitely face-to-face, talking in person is definitely ideal. But I did want to add, if you're posting on the platform where people are specifically looking for events, so like for instance, I did that and I got 13 RSVPs. So it's like you have to kind of, if you are posting online, you have to know to post it in places where people are looking for events. If you are going to post online, don't just like randomly just post in groups, like randomly, but like where people are actually looking for events.
Good stuff. We're gonna talk about percentages in a second. But let me ask you this. In leading up to the event and everything else, we talked about promoting, and I'm gonna come back to the second, but will you have some giveaways, at your event? You're hosting the event, you're attending the event, everything. You're gonna have some giveaways to entice people to come and actually show up. Like, listen, we got MRP points and everything. Like every event that I have seen Charlotte and Kenya do, even the boot camps, y'all, like They always got giveaways and
In
everything else.
Sierra, I had some gifts
And,
at my little school event. Don't leave me out now.
yes, Miss Tiara, you that's just, and we're not going to call it a little school event. We're not even going to put it, no, at your event as well. You know, having those giveaways and gifts, it does help entice. Now, as I was trying to type up some notes earlier, I was thinking of, and listen, we all have excess. Not we all, but a lot of people have some excess products like lying around, right? My thought pattern was black seed oil and oils that help with specific ailments and things like that will probably be some good giveaways to have. Black seed, because listen, over 100 different things that it helps with, right? And so my when I was thinking some of this through and thinking of notes, I'm like, man, how great would it be? You know, a lot of times we're like, I know Kenya and Charlotte, they're good for doing the raffles, right? But what if you're doing an event and it may, it's not as big, or you don't have as many giveaways, but you have some black seed or some pain oils or different things like that. And instead of a raffle or something random, it is like the giveaway is geared towards somebody who's suffering for something.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the process of, man, I'm finding, and I've shared this before as well, finding a hurt and healing it, finding a need and filling it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going along and you're giving away something to someone that has a specific ailment, and you can turn what would have normally been just a random, well, I'm gonna give this gift to this person, or because they answered the question. Now it's something that can turn into, hold on, you gotta mute Mary. Sorry about that. Now it turns into you threw me off, Mary, with the background talk. It turns into an opportunity to have a repeat customer as well, if that makes sense, right? Because the giveaways are focused as well. So I was just thinking about that as well. But my suggestion would be, if you're attending or throwing one of these types of events, have some giveaways. And just again, it was a random thought earlier. Man, have some giveaways that are focused for certain ailments that can help certain people, or whatever the case is. Next thing we want to talk about is, for your event or the event that you're attending, what is it? Is it an opportunity meeting? Are you hosting like a training session only? Is it both?
Wealth building.
You want to be
building
clear.
event.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mary?
A wealth building event. So people to understand that there's another way to earn, an income, or just to introduce them to network marketing, and that they have an option. There's another option out there where they can earn extra money, to add to their household income.
So that would go with an opportunity meeting, right? Where you're presenting the opportunity. Now, some people, like I know when Will came to Atlanta one time, when Derek and Lynette hosted in Snellville, there was no opportunity meeting. It was like training all day, right? So and that may have been what you book Will for, or what and that's fine. Whatever you decide to do is fine. The fact that you're at least getting it out to people and helping the people, feeding the people. But you want to have a very clear idea on what the event is. Is it an opportunity meeting? Is it a training session? Is it both, right? And then with that, how much time are you allotting for the actual event? And is your time attractive to people? For instance, sometimes people will see an event going from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and just it automatically is like, man, people, I ain't got all that time in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
So make your event focused for a time perspective, that's going to be attractive to the people and what you're looking to do. Now, listen, if you're just doing an opportunity type meeting, right? You really don't need more than an hour for that. If you're just doing training, and that's Will can train all day. I mean, the man has so many years of knowledge and everything else, right? And I'm speaking, in the essence of if you're having him come do it. There's others that are not. They're doing their own thing. But if you're doing training, that's really not an hour event. Like you want to allot some time to that. So figure out what you want in the event. Figure out the time and make sure that it's attractive to the audience so that, again, you can maximize, because a long time period is not going to be attractive to everybody. It's going to be counterproductive and it's going to scare some people away. So I want you guys to be aware of that as you're gearing up for these things, right? And by the way, if you don't have something currently booked, that does not mean you still can't do something. It does not mean that you need, Will or Charlotte or anybody to come to your city for you to launch your business. All right? I just want to be clear with that. But next thing. All right, so next question, really quick. Is the event at your home, at a hall, at a restaurant? If the event is not at your home, here's my question to you. How many people are you picking up? Wait a minute. Picking up?
Wow.
I'm just
Great point.
I'm not an Uber driver. Well, here's what I know. Everybody that you pick up is guaranteed to show up.
This is true.
I'm just going to tell you from 30 years of experience. Everybody that you pick up is going to show up. And
Makes a lot of sense.
They on their hostage because they can't necessarily leave. If you depend on you to get them back.
Wait, we got a van available, so
right? So ask yourself, how many people are you picking up? I want you to really have that in your brain. Maxine, you got a hand up. Did you want to say something, ask something?
Yeah, so I'm just going to host a presentation. I let Liz know about it. And she's gonna try to see if she can come down. Trying to figure out who like which of the the leaders is closer to me to come down at least, right? I would like one of the coaches, not coaches, but like, one of the top leaders to come. And because I do live in a YWCA building, we do have rooms I can book if I needed. Other than that, it had to be like a common area space because I don't think my apartment would do because I only have like my chair now, so.
We can talk about that offline after, Maxine.
Okay.
All right, good stuff. I see the time, so I'm gonna try to rush through some of this other info just to get it to y'all. My apologies. I love to make our calls interactive, and sometimes that'll force us to go over a little bit. So if y'all could bear with me, truly appreciate your patience. All right. Next thing, I would suggest setting up confirmation calls and confirmation messages with people that confirm to you, telling you that they come. So, if you invited them and it's 2 weeks out, day before, 2 days before, you should be going back and doing confirmation calls and messages. Man, I'm so excited to, see you come, Lori, man. And look, we haven't seen each other in 6 months. So this is going to be awesome. Can't wait. Just listen, remember that the event starts at 11, so you want to be there by at least 10:50, get a good spot and everything else. Do your confirmation calls, all right, or confirmation messages, and that will help increase the amount of people that actually show up, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Next thing, set your expectation levels correctly, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Let me be clear. Depending on who you are and your influence level and how you promoted, and if you did follow-ups, still only 30 to 60% of the people are going to actually show up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want you to realistically have your expectation levels. What that translates to is if you invite 10 people, only 3 or 6 are actually going to show.
Mm-hmm.
If I invited 40.
Congratulations. I'm not doing that math, but you can do the math. 30 to 60% of the people are going to show up, Sandra, depending on your influence level. Now, if you're a person with a very high sphere of influence, like people just move because it's you, or they're scared of you, like Charlotte, when Charlotte say, Sonic, you get on the phone. I'm getting on the phone. Like I just do what she tells me to do. Her influence level is like, right? So if you have a very high influence level, your percentage will increase. But if you don't, I want you to be honest with yourself. Understand that you're gonna fall into that 30% category. Okay. I want you guys to know. And so again, that's 3 to 6 people out of every 10 people that, and that does not include putting a flyer up on your page or in a group and thinking everybody's gonna show up. Like,
Right.
I'm just telling you experience. Again. All right. So, and again, and by the way, outside of network marketing, I was a professional event promoter and party promoter, like in the entertainment industry, and I threw parties and everything. So I'm giving you from both sides, right? All right, so let's move on. Day of, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my suggestion: 3 decades of experience. I would suggest having some music on as people arrive, right? Light jazz is always a great suggestion. Helps relax the room, helps ease the mind of everybody there, puts people in a certain mindset. Do not play no hardcore hip hop. Don't play a bunch of rock and roll.
Tommy?
Throw on some very light, entertaining jazz type music. And this is speaking of people from a person who has done all sorts of events. I'm talking about super high class presentations and in the hood of the Bronx. It's always just jazz across the board. Even though I'll be like, they might want to hear some Biggie. No, absolutely not. All right. So I have some light jazz on. Another suggestion, special. I would definitely DJ Tommy Waldron. Okay. I would suggest having other team members at this event, right? And what you want to do with guests is introduce your guests beforehand to some of these people. Edify and introduce them. It's going to be important. This is going to be important. Sit all your guests up front. So I don't know how you may have your event set up, but make sure all your guests are in the front row, right up front. And sit with your guests. Now, obviously, if you're like Sandra and you invited 40 people and 20 of them show, you can't sit next to every guest. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But sit next to your guests. Play team, right? So when the presenter, if you have a very experienced presenter and everything else, you'll notice things like they're going to raise their hand. They're going to ask a question and raise their hand. How many people, such and such and such and such, right? When they raise their hand, what do?
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand, right? When they ask a question, what do?
Answer question.
Very good. Don't sit there and just be looking around. Don't do that. Okay? Engage with the presenter and your guests will follow your lead. Okay? So play team. Raise your hand. If they tell a joke, even if the joke is corny, just laugh, right? And tap your guest. Tap your
people will.
Like you can talk to him or her later about how corny that joke was, right? Some of y'all try to these whatever, but no, seriously, in front of the room, laugh at the jokes, engage, answer questions. Nudge your. That was good, right?
Yes.
Get your
Yeah.
people invested in the information. And the more invested and focused they are, and the more attention that they're paying, and the more entertaining and educational the presentation is, the better chance you got of people joining.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't realize, outside of having a great presenter, having a great audience is key in closing, what we call closing the room. Okay? Next thing, really quick. Make sure that you ask everybody in the room to turn their phone on silent before that presentation starts.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse or more disrespectful than somebody being in the front of the room and everybody's engaged and all of a sudden, better yet, somebody got a music ringtone still, like y'all still living in the 90s and hey, hello.
Right.
Please make sure y'all make the announcement. Everybody has their phones on silent.
Mm-hmm.
And be willing to give the presenter, an hour or less than their time. Like it
Right.
It shouldn't take more than an hour. It really should not. If you do, you're talking too much. Like this, it's way too much information. A presentation meeting is designed, and remember, I did a training on how to do a 1-minute presentation, right? So a presentation meeting should be given enough facts, maybe a few testimonials, talk about the money, and close. Like, don't need to elongate it or anything else. Nakia, I see your hand up. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I was just gonna say to people, don't invite people to a meeting or an event and you don't show up. I'm just saying that happened to me, and it's not a good look at all, and it's not good business. So,
ma'am, it wasn't. Sorry.
You're right. Well, but don't do that. So just say that with me. Don't do that. Don't invite a person and you are not showing up yourself, because it shows that you don't take interest in that person or the relationship. It just shows that you're just about the money. Don't do that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We don't play with Sarge in the chat. All right. All right. So we got phones on silent. Be willing to give that person listen. Y'all sit tight. For the next 30 minutes, man. We just want to give you some information or whatever the case is. Again, but the presentation really shouldn't be no more than an hour. If you're doing an opportunity meeting, you're doing training, again, it's gonna go a little bit longer. There should be a person who does the introduction, right? That person should then introduce the next speaker, and usually in an opportunity meeting, there's one, maybe two presenters. All right, there should not be more than that, right? So one person, maybe two, depending on, like, sometimes in business, we kind of call it the first half and the second half, or the products or services, and then the compensation plan. But no more than two people. So you should have a person that does the introduction. That's the person that, by the way, welcomes everybody, smiles. It can build with the audience. They're the one that tells them, make sure all your phones are on mute. We're about to get some information. So that's the person's job, to introduce. And by the way, whoever is introducing, this is not your time to shine, right? So if you're doing the introduction, some of y'all have been waiting for the mic all your lives. This is not the time. Let me tell y'all a little bit about myself, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. Not the purpose. Your job as the introducer is to introduce.
You're the host.
Life story, okay? Tommy, you said something? Oh, okay. I see you went back on mute. All right. So introduction, a person that does the introducing, and then the main speaker or main two speakers. Okay. Next thing, start on time, please. Okay. Nothing worse than people feeling like you don't drag me all the way out here. You don't wasting my time. Y'all are 20 minutes, 30 minutes late. That's unprofessional. And you always want to show the highest level of professionalism in a professional type setting, in a professional meeting, even if it's in your home. This is a professional opportunity meeting, right? So start on time. What else? At the end of the presentation, this is key, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the presentation, you should, like I said, have already edified some people in the room. Even if it was only the presenter, However, again, the more team that you have there, the better. And take your guests at the end. Take your guests to an edified expert or somebody that they identified with to be closed. What do I mean by identified with? There may be a point where, let's say the presenter is asking questions, or they ask for a testimonial, and somebody gives this testimonial on high blood pressure, pain, or whatever, and your guest identifies with them. Take them up to that person at the end to get closed. Now, I'm telling all of y'all this part because if you are ever at an opportunity meeting, I want you to be prepared on how to properly close somebody else's guest, because you really shouldn't close your own guests. Okay. Now, are there going to be times when you're going to have to close your guests? Absolutely. But ideally, you should take your guest up to somebody, because again, I don't want to go back to the whole three-way training and edification triangle that I've taught before, but I just want you to understand that once you've edified somebody else, it puts that person in a high regard. Your people, your cousin that knew you as Pookie or Cinnamon or whatever all your life, some of y'all got some nicknames that we're not going to go into. I don't know why some of my people are always nicknamed after food or snacks. I'm not even going to go into that. Hey, Twinkie. Hey, okay, anyway.
Oh, what about Boo Boo? What a mistake.
Come on. Look, but that's what they know you as. So they don't really have this they don't know you as this amazing business person. That's why you get to edify somebody else in the room. And then it's that person's job to close them. Let's talk about how to properly close somebody else's guest, or the process of that really quick, and then we're going to get up out of here. Closing guests. First of all, there should be a quick introduction. Again, if you've introduced them beforehand, perfect. But you can feel free to, hey Tiara, just wanted to, really kind of bring you up and introduce you to Nakia again. I know you guys, talked in the beginning. I didn't really have a lot of time to finish. But this is Tiara's, not talk to Nakia. Nakia, this is Tiara's first time out, seeing this information. And I know I just wanted her to introduce you because the two of you together, I can imagine what can happen. Nakia automatically knows to go into a certain amount. By the way, 3 closing questions. If you've never written these down, if you've never closed before or anything else, take these notes, okay?
Blue pen right now in your notebook.
Quick introduction. Then those people will have a quick pleasantry. So Nakia will be like, hey, Tiara, it's so good to meet you again, and da-da-da-da. So very quick pleasantries. And then first question. The first closing question that Nakia should be asking is, what did you like most about what you just saw?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Write that down. What did you like most about what you just saw? Now, whatever Tiara liked most, that's what Nakia is going to have like most as well. Oh, I love the products, man. I love that everything was all organic. I love that conversation. I love the fact that you only really got to get 2 people to whatever they like most. Nakia is going to like the same thing. You know what, Tiara, that's exactly what attracted me as well. The fact that all of the products were, non-GMO, all organic, plant-based. That really resonated with me. Whatever she liked or he liked, that's what the closer liked as well. Everybody got that?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Question number 2. Do you see an opportunity for yourself? Okay. So closing question number 1. So let me ask you, Tim, what did you like most about what you saw? Oh man, I like the fact that, you guys are making upfront money and it's for life and you got residuals and everything. That's exactly what I saw as well. When I first took a look at this, I saw the fact that I'll be able to, create residual income because Lord knows I have residual bills, right? They just kept coming every month. So let me ask you this, Tiara. With everything that you saw, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Yeah, absolutely. Then that's when we could go into question number 3. 3 question closes, right? And if they didn't see an opportunity, ain't no really need to go into the 3rd question, because we're not begging people to get in our business. And I told you, get into the mindset where you understand you are not getting people in the business, you are letting people in your business. Okay.
Oh man.
All right now.
Say it again.
But question number 3. Perfect. So again, the question was, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Yeah, absolutely do. Perfect. When do you see yourself being able to get started? Okay. So question 1, what did you like most about what you just saw? Question number 2, do you see an opportunity for yourself? And then question number 3, if it's warranted, perfect. When do you see yourself getting started? Those are your 3 money questions. These are the questions necessary to get what needs to be gotten out of a person so we know what their decision is and if they're ready to go right now. Well, great. You see yourself getting started right now? Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you over to the side. We have a laptop. We have, we got a tablet over here, and if y'all don't got none of that stuff, look, I can show you how to go ahead and place your order on your phone. That will activate your account and your job is done.
Love it.
Okay.
Lead by the boss. I love it. Thank you, sir.
Hey, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. So again, understanding, I'm teaching y'all a system. And we told you that people are not duplicatable, but systems are. The system that I'm going over is what I've been using for 3 decades. It has allowed me to build organizations of tens of thousands of people, to make over $1 million in this industry, and to help so many other people get to a level of financial freedom that have freed them, whether it be time-wise or whether it be from a financial standpoint. I'm sharing the information with you, and this is how we close all the time. And it never mattered what opportunity we were in, what company, none of that stuff mattered. This stuff has been universal. And this is what works. So that being said, I don't like to keep people too long. But if you're watching this recording, that means I have decided to release it. I hope you got something out of it. But yeah, I really definitely wanted to go into, talking to you guys about growth. And I wanted to talk to you guys, with so many people having some upcoming meetings, really on proper protocols to help maximize your results from those meetings, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, I see your hands up. Go ahead, Coach Seymour. Go ahead.
One other quick tip I wanted to add to, like, for the people that's going to be having meetings, you want to try to get there on time, and especially if you're going to be using like your laptop or anything to show the presentation or anything like that, because you're always going to have some type of technical difficulty sometimes. Try to get there in time so you can get all that set up, so you're not setting that up after the people get there.
Absolutely. And look, by the way, thank you. That was great. Coach, I appreciate that. There's so many other things that really go into making meetings the best meetings and experience you had. We just didn't have time to go over everything. So, you got enough though that can get you to where you need to go. So I appreciate you, Belinda. I see your hand in a second. I'm gonna get you after the recording, just because I don't want the recording to go too long. But for those watching, again, thank you for watching this presentation. Hopefully you got something from it. And whether it was understanding how growth is necessary for you in your life and to help you become the best version of you that you can be, or whether it was, what do I need to do to grow my business from an in-person standpoint, and the best ways to invite people, to get them there, to make sure they're paying attention, and to help get them closed properly. Whatever it is, hopefully something reached you tonight. Again, my name is Sonic Jones. I am Rosalind's baby boy, and we appreciate you watching this. We encourage you to stay strong and continue to be blessed. Y'all have a great day or night, whatever time you're watching this. And we'll see you on the next edition of Coach's Corner. Take care, guys.